Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Secrets of a Witch podcast with me, Sabrina Scott. On this show, I talk about life, love, healing, spirituality, witchcraft, magic, feminine energy, tarot, and everything in between. And I've got a super quick, itty bitty episode for you today, a little bit inspired by my last one. I just wanted to get another slight thought on this out into the world before I move on to something else. And so here we go. Let's just launch right into it. Outrage Olympics is completely optional. So let me say that again. Participating, engaging in, being swept up in the Outrage Olympics is completely optional. You really don't need to do it. And what I've seen a lot online, and to some extent in person, but honestly, for the most part online and in the news media and all of that stuff, is a lot of people who are weirdly adults, but who have allowed emotion and outrage and strong emotion and trigger and all of these things to completely cloud their vision, their time, their ability to self-regulate, their ability to have some self-control and decide what we're going to be doing with our day, our morning, our evening. I have seen a lot of people pile on other people, including myself. I've seen a lot of people make posts about how they can't go to work because of this whole thing with the American Olympic hockey team, whatever. And all of it just kind of makes me feel really bummed out for everyone who is really swept up in this. And I just wanted to explain why. And hopefully give a little bit of a nudge for folks who are still in this swampy thing to hopefully give themselves a little bit of a shake off and just, shake that water off of yourself and move on. Because what I see is people who don't know how to self-regulate as adults, people who have no control over their emotions as adults, people who have taken no responsibility for their own emotions, their own reactions, their own triggers, their own healing journey. And I totally get it, the idea that we can be triggered by something happening in the news media or in current events. Totally get it. That happened to me for sure when I was in my early 20s. But, what I've seen a lot of online is mostly not people of that age range popping off. Mostly it is people my age. I'm 36 now. Mostly what I see is people my age and older acting like unhinged lunatics on the internet. And I can't help but think that somewhere something went wrong. I don't know exactly what it was. I'm going to have to think about it. But something somewhere went wrong that a lot of people have been socially conditioned, brainwashed, whatever, participated in communities online and in person where this kind of behavior is normalized and encouraged and sometimes even lauded. And it all seems to me an absolute waste of time, a waste of energy. No amount of internet outrage is going to improve your life, the life of your partner, the life of your children, the life of your family. No amount of you participating in the internet outrage machine for hours on end is going to in any way elevate your spirit, improve your art, whatever. Don't get me wrong, when I was a teenager, I loved to argue online. It was kind of like being in debate class. I learned how to argue to some extent this way, so it's all good. But what I do see more and more of is this kind of thing really taking control over people's lives. And I see this in my, comments in the replies to me on threads in particular, I find really interesting. And if people are just talking shit at me, then okay, whatever. But what I see when I decide to take a look at some of these folks is it's not just me they're insulting. It's not just me they're talking shit at. It's their entire reply section for hours often, is them replying in nasty ways to people they disagree with and don't follow and have no relationship to. And to me, this just seems like such a waste of attention, a waste of energy. And I totally get feeling strong emotions. Like, I completely get it. For me, that is more of a juvenile, kind of adolescent type of thing. I definitely don't have as many strong emotions now as I did in my early 20s. As my brain has developed, as I've healed my trauma, I am a lot more chillaxed and just emotionally regulated and very emotionally even. Like, I'm almost never really in that type of activated state anymore, thank God. And so this is really interesting to me to observe. And it seems like people just can't control themselves. But what I wanted to just put out into the world is that if this is you, if this is something that you've engaged in before, you can totally change your behavior. You don't have to lose hours of your life to, spending every Tuesday or Friday night, replying to hateful shit that, on the internet. You just don't. And, I live in Canada. I actually don't have a TV. I have not owned a TV, since I was like 17. I moved out at 17. I have never purchased a TV. I'm now 36, so I have lived without a TV for just about 20 years. And I get it. Like, when I see some of the coverage on the news of these different things that have happened, like, I understand to some extent why people are cajoled into having these emotional reactions. Like, the clips I see of a lot of TV news, especially out of the States, like, it does seem like weirdly designed to inspire division, polarization, outrage, extremism. A lot of the news to me seems very extremist in some of the things that each side is accusing the other one of. And I just want to remind you guys, you can opt out. You don't have to spend all your time watching the news. You don't have to spend all your time, watching the outrageous shit. You don't have to spend all your time addicted to being outraged. You don't have to spend all your time addicted to being upset at the state of the world. What good does it do? And if you really want to have a positive impact on the world, like if you really are genuinely upset by ABC random thing happening in the universe today, are you really going to be able to be useful to anybody if you are so outraged and upset and triggered 24/7 because you watch so much news? How is that helping you or anybody? And so I really do genuinely think a lot of people are like biochemically addicted to outrage. It's like they can't pull themselves away from it. And check yourself before you wreck yourself. Like, just ask yourself as you're listening to this episode. I'm sure this doesn't apply to most of you, but just in case it does, and maybe this is your parents, and maybe this is a sibling of yours who is, totally hooked by this stuff, but you really don't have to spend so much time consuming that type of stuff. Coming home from work and turning on the TV, turning on the news, all of that doesn't have to be your routine. And whether it is news or whether it's the latest random movie on Netflix, like, do you really want to waste your whole life feeling emotions in front of a screen? Or is there something else that you would rather do? Can you step away from the extremism in the media? On whichever side it happens to be, whichever country you happen to be in. And I'm not saying that we should put our head in the sand and be uninformed about current events. I haven't had TV in more than nearly 20 years, and I have always been informed about current events happening in my country and also in other countries worldwide. But it's possible to do that without being consumed and controlled by it. It's possible to be informed in a measured and emotionally grounded, emotionally sober way that it doesn't totally take over your life and cause people to have a mental breakdown. It's possible. And, if you do find yourself really triggered by some of the things in the news, why not take some time to take care of yourself? Book an appointment with your therapist. Go get a massage. Go to the gym. work out a bit and get all that rage and emotion out of your system. I love going to the gym after I'm grumpy about something. It is a great way to get that out of your system. I love talking to my therapist if I'm, upset about something. I love like calling my mom when I need someone to listen to me bitch about something. It's okay to have these different outlets that are, again, real life. Notice all of my 3 examples are real life human beings that I know in person. My therapist, my mom, the gym. I go there physically. I have to leave my house. I have to get dressed. Venting online and just getting your frustration out online at strangers and shouting into the void in people's replies, like telling strangers random shit, like that is not really an emotionally healthy reaction. Like it might make people feel good in the moment and superior, but is that a good use of your energy? Like, in my opinion, no, it's totally unhinged. And so it does disturb me the amount of outrage that seems to be so normalized these days. Everyone you disagree with is a Nazi. Everyone who is right-wing is, a this or a that. It's a little bit crazy, and I long for a time when we could disagree with one another and deal with that in a respectful way, rather than getting triggered by the littlest things and hurting our own feelings and demonizing people either we know or don't know for the most minute things, making mountains out of molehills. And again, like, why are we allowing the lives of strangers, celebrities, entertainers, whatever, to throw us off the course of our life? Wouldn't you rather stay on track and prioritize your own goals? Because honestly, if you are so controlled emotionally by politics that you are distracted from your life goals, your life purpose, your life vision, if it is taking you away from your family, your kids, your partner, your work, then honestly, that does need to be looked at. And that's probably a sign that something unhealthy is going on. The outrage also is going to have a bad effect on our body. I talked before about it having addictive qualities. I think a lot of people are addicted to drama. They're addicted to excitement, is what we would say in ACA, a 12-step program that I used to be in my early 20s, adult children of alcoholics and other dysfunctional families. Highly recommend the big book. It's excellent. It's 1,000,000 pages long, but definitely worth reading. And so a lot of people with childhood trauma have this addiction to excitement. I used to have it, so I totally get it. But it is a biochemical thing, and it also is going to create activation and stress in the body. And that is going to cause illness. It's going to impact immune function. It's going to make a lot of people gain weight too. Stress causes weight gain in stomach. A lot of things going on. All of that is optional. And if you're someone who is addicted to excitement, addicted to drama, that is something to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Personally, I don't even really like gossip. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't want my friendships and relationships to be based on even hearing the latest bullshit someone said or did. I honestly could not give a fuck. And if someone is crazy enough or unhinged enough or unhealed enough that they're worth gossiping about, then I don't want to be anywhere near that vicinity of anyone who knows them anyway, is kind of how I see it. And again, that's not bypassing. That is just choosing the circles we're in, choosing the communities that we're a part of, being really intentional about who we are spending time with, whether that is public figures on the TV, celebrities on the TV, idiots on the internet, influencers on Instagram, or even this podcast. Where are you choosing to spend your brain power? Is it on something that's going to help you work through ideas, heal yourself, work through trauma, inspire you in your life to level up in whatever way you want or need to, whether it's mentally, physically, artistically, whatever? Or are you siphoning away your energy and allowing social media and the outrage machine of TV news and all of that crap to basically be an energy vampire on you. What are you choosing? You have options. Just because everyone you know is sucked into that fucking vapid bullshit doesn't mean that you need to be sucked into it. It might be a little bit alienating to be like, hey, friend A, friend B, friend C, who I usually talk about celebrity gossip with, I really don't want to participate in this conversation. So I'm either going to leave the group chat or I'm just going to ignore all of this. I would rather talk about something else. You know, that can be alienating when we make different choices from the people in our circle about what we're doing with our time and energy. It can be alienating when we decide to go to the gym on a Friday night rather than get beers with our bros. They might not get it. We might get made fun of. It can be, a little bit jarring, uncomfortable to be the person that makes a different choice away from the unhealthy habits of outrage and shit talking and into something different, eating healthy, drinking less, going to the gym, making art. Whatever it happens to be, learning a new skill, even just taking a bath and listening to some peaceful music or listening to a podcast or something like that. The choices that we make add up over time. It's cumulative. I dare you, step away from the outrage machine, the outrage Olympics today. You really don't have to participate. Reclaim your time, reclaim your energy. Be really intentional about what it is you're choosing to do with your energy, how, when, etc. I would rather use my energy to make a podcast, to record something, to do some writing, to clean the house, to get a good workout in than spending, let's say, 3 hours on a Friday night replying to people who are talking shit on Threads. You also get to make that choice. Maybe for you, it's not Threads. Maybe for you, it's the family group chat. Maybe for you, it's like your old best friends from, I don't know, like high school that you've kind of outgrown because they're a little bit negative. You know, whatever it is, what can you make a different choice around today to reclaim your time and energy away from negativity and towards something that is productive and positive? And again, this is not about avoiding things. This is not about positivity washing. This is not about spiritual bypassing. It's just about choosing healthier habits and having more self-control, having more control of how we behave in this world and what we are choosing to put our energy and attention towards. Very much like the Strength Tarot card if you're a tarot person. So if you're a tarot person, meditate on the Strength card after listening to this. Super important vibe. And when we are intentional with our attention, everything gets a lot better. All right, friends, that's it from me for today. You can check me out at sabrinamscott.com. You can grab a tarot reading from me. You can grab coaching on life, love, tarot, spirituality, magic, whatever. Happy to help. Of course, a lot of interesting shit happening on my YouTube, youtube.com/Sabrina Scott. On Instagram and Threads, I am Sabrina M. Scott, and I look forward to hearing from y'all very soon. Much love. Bye.